In the small town of Ravenswood, nestled at the edge of a dense, foreboding forest, lived a man named Daniel Turner. Daniel was an unassuming individual, known for his quiet demeanor and solitary life. He worked at the local library and spent most of his evenings reading, often losing himself in the worlds of mystery and horror novels. Little did he know that his own life was about to take a chilling turn. One gloomy Tuesday evening, as Daniel returned home from work, he discovered an odd package waiting on his doorstep. It was a plain, brown box with no return address. Intrigued and slightly unnerved, he cautiously opened it to find a series of photographs inside. As he sifted through them, a deep sense of horror washed over him. The pictures depicted him at various stages of torment and torture, each more gruesome than the last. In one photo, Daniel saw himself bound to a chair, a look of sheer agony etched onto his face. Another showed him with blood-soaked clothes, wounds covering his body. The final photograph sent shivers down his spine, a haunting image of him lying lifeless on the cold, damp ground. Unable to comprehend the horrifying scenes before him, Daniel searched his memory, desperate for any recollection of the events captured in those images. Yet, his mind was a foggy abyss, devoid of any connection to the nightmares depicted in the photographs. Terrified and paranoid, Daniel reached out to the local authorities, showing them the disturbing images. Detective Rachel Harris, a seasoned investigator, took on the case. She studied the photographs meticulously, searching for clues that could unravel the mystery behind Daniel's apparent torture. As the investigation unfolded, the town of Ravenswood was gripped by fear. Whispers of a malevolent force, unseen and inexplicable, circulated among the townspeople. Some believed it to be a vengeful spirit, while others feared a sinister presence lurking in the shadows. Detective Harris delved into Daniel's life, interviewing those closest to him. Friends and acquaintances were shocked to learn of the inexplicable photographs, and none could provide any insight into the dark enigma surrounding the unassuming man. One fateful night, as Detective Harris pored over the evidence, she received an anonymous tip leading her to the outskirts of Ravenswood. There, in the heart of the foreboding forest, she stumbled upon an abandoned cabin hidden among the gnarled trees. Inside the desolate structure, she discovered a room that mirrored the scenes from Daniel's photographs. The air was thick with an eerie silence as she uncovered a series of gruesome tools, chains, and evidence of unspeakable horrors that unfolded within those walls. As the detective continued her investigation, it became apparent that the cabin held a sinister secret. A malevolent entity had taken residence, preying on the unsuspecting inhabitants of Ravenswood. This entity, with a twisted sense of malevolence, would orchestrate the torture of its victims, erasing their memories and leaving only haunting photographs behind. In a climactic confrontation, Detective Harris confronted the malevolent force, battling the darkness that had gripped Ravenswood for far too long. With the aid of an enigmatic occultist, they managed to banish the entity back into the shadows from whence it came, freeing Daniel and the town from its insidious grasp. The photographs, once eerie reminders of unspeakable horrors, faded away, leaving the town of Ravenswood to grapple with the trauma that had befallen them. Daniel, now liberated from the malevolent force, struggled to rebuild his shattered life, haunted by the specter of a darkness he could not remember. The forest, forever changed by the events that transpired within its depths, stood as a silent witness to the horrors that had unfolded. The tale of Ravenswood would linger in the memories of its residents, a cautionary tale of a town ensnared by malevolence that sought to consume the very essence of their souls. As time passed, Ravenswood attempted to return to a semblance of normalcy, but the scars of the malevolent entity's influence lingered. The townspeople couldn't shake the fear that another wave of darkness might descend upon them, leaving them vulnerable to forces beyond their comprehension. Daniel, despite the support of friends and neighbors, found it difficult to escape the shadows that clung to him. Nightmares plagued his sleep, vivid and disturbing scenes that echoed the torments depicted in the photographs. The town, once a haven, had become a place tainted by an otherworldly malevolence. Detective Rachel Harris, haunted by the horrors she had witnessed, continued her pursuit of understanding. She delved deeper into the arcane, seeking answers from ancient texts and wise elders rumored to possess knowledge of the supernatural. In her quest for closure, she uncovered a chilling truth. The malevolent entity that had plagued Ravenswood was not the only one of its kind. The detective learned of a centuries-old curse, a maleficent force drawn to the suffering of humanity. This entity, known as the Whispering Shade, would feed on the anguish of its victims, leaving them in a state of despair and amnesia. It wandered between realms, searching for new souls to ensnare and torment. Determined to break the curse and protect Ravenswood from further harm, Detective Harris gathered a group of individuals willing to face the darkness head-on. Among them was an enigmatic scholar versed in ancient rituals, a courageous townsfolk who had survived a previous encounter with the Whispering Shade, and Daniel, whose inexplicable connection to the entity made him both a victim and a key to unraveling the mystery. As the group ventured into the heart of the mysterious forest, they faced trials and tribulations orchestrated by the vengeful entity. The Whispering Shade, aware of their presence, twisted reality and perception, making the journey a nightmarish odyssey. The air buzzed with malevolence, and the forest seemed to come alive with sinister intent. Finally, in a clearing bathed in an otherworldly glow, the group confronted the Whispering Shade. Its form was a shifting, shadowy mass that seemed to defy the laws of nature. As the air thickened with tension, the scholar chanted ancient incantations, invoking powers long forgotten. The battle that ensued transcended the physical realm. The Whispering Shade fought back with the memories of past torments, projecting visions of anguish into the minds of those standing against it. Yet, united by determination and the strength of their collective will, the group pressed on. In a climactic moment, as the incantations reached a crescendo, the Whispering Shade wailed in agony. Its shadowy form convulsed and contorted, unable to withstand the power of the ancient ritual. With an otherworldly roar, the entity dissipated, leaving behind an eerie silence that settled over the forest. As the group emerged from the forest, they were met with a changed Ravenswood. The curse had been broken, and the town was released from the grip of the Whispering Shade. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm light on a community that had endured unspeakable horrors. However, the ordeal had left an indelible mark on the lives of those who had faced the malevolent force. Detective Harris, though victorious, carried the weight of the supernatural battle she had waged. Daniel, now free from the entity's influence, embarked on a journey of self-discovery, determined to forge a new path for himself. Ravenswood, scarred but resilient, began to rebuild. The Whispering Shade, banished for now, slumbered in the depths of forgotten realms, waiting for an opportune moment to once again emerge from the shadows and cast its malevolence upon unsuspecting souls. The tale of Ravenswood became a cautionary legend, a reminder that even in the most tranquil places, ancient forces may lie dormant, awaiting the chance to torment the living once more. Years passed, and the events that unfolded in Ravenswood became a distant memory. The townspeople gradually reclaimed their sense of security, and the Whispering Shade was relegated to the realm of folklore. Life in the small town returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the echoes of the supernatural ordeal continued to resonate. Detective Rachel Harris, despite her best efforts to move on, found herself drawn to the mysteries that lingered in the aftermath of the Whispering Shade. Her investigations led her to delve into ancient texts and forgotten lore, seeking to understand the nature of the malevolent force that had plagued Ravenswood. Daniel, having embarked on a journey of self-discovery, found solace in the support of those who had stood by him during the dark times. His memories of the torment began to fade, replaced by a determination to live a fulfilling life. He became an advocate for mental health, using his own experience to raise awareness about the lasting impact of trauma. The scholar who had guided the group in the battle against the Whispering Shade continued to study the arcane, wary of the possibility that other malevolent entities lurked in the shadows. The once courageous townsfolk, who had faced the horrors of the forest, became a guardian of Ravenswood's history, passing down the cautionary tale from generation to generation. One day, Detective Harris received an anonymous letter, marked with an ancient symbol associated with the occult. The message was cryptic, hinting at the potential resurgence of the Whispering Shade. Troubled by a sense of foreboding, she gathered the remnants of the original group and embarked on a new quest to prevent the malevolent force from regaining its strength. As they ventured back into the depths of the forest, they discovered signs of an impending darkness. Strange occurrences and unsettling visions hinted at the Whispering Shade's imminent return. The group faced challenges that tested their resolve, their bond forged in the crucible of supernatural battles proving to be their greatest strength. In the heart of the forest, they encountered a gateway to a realm beyond the mortal plane. The Whispering Shade, weakened but not defeated, awaited them on the other side. It sought to reclaim the town that had slipped from its grasp years ago and spread its malevolence even further. With newfound knowledge and a determination born from past triumphs, the group confronted the Whispering Shade once more. The battle that ensued surpassed the intensity of their previous encounter. The very fabric of reality seemed to warp and twist as the malevolent entity fought fiercely to break free from the shackles of banishment. In a final, desperate act, the scholar invoked a powerful ritual that bound the Whispering Shade to the ancient symbols etched into the forest roots. The forest that had tormented Ravenswood for so long writhed in agony, unable to escape its newfound prison. As the group emerged from the forest, a heavy silence settled over Ravenswood. The townspeople, unaware of the supernatural battles fought on their behalf, continued with their lives, blissfully ignorant of the malevolent force that had threatened to consume them. Detective Harris, having played her part in preserving the town's safety, decided to leave Ravenswood behind. She knew that the Whispering Shade would always be a lingering threat, and she felt a calling to continue her pursuit of understanding the supernatural. Ravenswood, forever changed by the events that transpired within its borders, stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The town became a beacon of caution, a place where the line between reality and the supernatural was thin, and where the echoes of the Whispering Shade's malevolence would forever be a part of its history.
Like, subscribe, and click on notifications that will allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss videos from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.